Got a message from the Ghana rep of Sound City, Richard Imo Akman, telling me this song is very big in Nigeria. So you are telling us that gospel is doing better in Nigeria than the other one? I don't want to believe that. Okay, his name is Joe Mettle, and this one he did it with Luigi McLean. It is one big song. On YouTube alone, more than 3 million people have seen this video on YouTube. Then it means that this man is the man to watch out for. He is a torchbearer when it comes to gospel music in Ghana, doing it international as well. We are going to find out what really is his secret, what is keeping him afloat, and now that people are drowning. Bononi, one big song like that. Joe, welcome to our studio. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you for having me.
And how is life? How is life?
By God's grace, all is well.
I hear these days you are very busy, flying in and out here and there like that, doing collaborations, playing concerts and all.
You heard, eh?
And I've been reading too.
Yeah. By God's grace, we've been doing quite a number of things.
Okay.
From like you're saying, from events to music itself, and a few other projects here and there. So yeah, it's been quite busy. It's really been quite busy. But Bibia Koi.
No, we are happy. We are happy to say Bibi Akoyi. And the fact that the Ghana rep of Sound City is telling us this song is big in Nigeria. Then it will lead me to my first question. Did you go there to do any promotion? Because that is what they are telling us now. That go there and do promotions. Did you go there to do promotions?
Not really, but I happen to work with a few Nigerians as well. I kind of like do quite a number of events too in Nigeria. Okay. I get a lot of invitations to do programs and stuff there. So indirectly, I think I work with a few of them, both in Nigeria and even Nigerians who are abroad. So I think
now the people you are working with in Nigeria, are they promoters? Are they musicians?
No. They are musicians. They are musicians. So sometimes it's that thing where you happen to be on somebody's project. And then somebody hears you on it and sort of like how you do things, and then follows what you do yourself. So let's say I featured Nathaniel Bassey on an album. Somebody liked the way it was done on the album, then happens to chase my own projects to see how. And then the next time they say, can you feature during this event? And then as it goes on and on, it blows up. And then you'd realize that the radio stations themselves start also promoting your work. I think it's the affiliation that also sometimes really helps.
When did this start, your entry into Nigeria?
I think I've been going to Nigeria for about 5 or so years now. 5 or 6 years. It's just because sometimes I don't make it loud, but then where the event is
during your Soul Winners days, or
no, I left Soul Winners in 2010 actually. So
okay. So even after your Soul Winners days?
Yes, I think I went there twice during my Soul Winners days. Because during my Soul Winners days, I used to also do my personal things on the side, but then I didn't have an album or anything, but I still had invitations to minister alone as Joe Mettle. And so after I left, I've been there a few number of times.
Now, when you go, do you see your colleagues, Ghanaian gospel artists around you, or it has been Joe Mettle alone?
Normally, I'm invited there as me, and so there's been 1 or 2 of our people to who's, I think Kwesi went there quite often as well. In fact, at the point, Kwesi even went there way more than I did, and so I think, but now it's not as often as it used to. For most of our people, but still people go there. Most of our people still go there to sing.
I asked that question because I want to know whether it is our gospel song that is going out or it is Joe Mettle going out.
It is the gospel, obviously. Sometimes the reason they call is in addition to everything else, also the Ghanaian sound that brings they want a different flavor to make it work. I think one time I was invited to one major event there, which then I had accepted another event somewhere, so I couldn't make it. They called the tape Africa Gospel something. So they bring artists from all over Africa, and it's organized in Nigeria. And most of the time, reasons they do that is to have a different feel of Africa. So it's not just Nigerian. And so they're able to blend all those things. So when events like that come up, they bring different artists from different places maybe this year I go, next year they will call somebody else. So that's how those things work. So I think it's both the individual and the music as well, because you may be a very good artist, good singer, good everything, but they need also songs that can also work with their audience or resonate with their audience as well.
Is there something you know you are doing right to get to some particular level in your career? Or there are some people who said, me, I don't know what I'm doing, or it is just a song.
No, first
but
of
in
all,
your case,
I would say that first of all, it's grace. I can never argue about it. It's God's grace. I enjoy God's favor. I enjoy. In addition to that, you have to, like, it's hard work as well. You need to work hard. I mean, when the grace is available and you fold your arms and you assume that it would work for you. So if you don't bring out good stuff, or you don't wait on God to get good stuff, it would still work against you. So I think it's that one. And by God's grace, I have a good team as well. I will never deny that. I think my team most of the time work very hard also to make sure that things are done the way they are. I mean, sometimes they attack me now. They're like, no. And they know I'm more, not that my team is not, my team is very spiritual, but they assume that there are times that certain things have to be technical and other things, and I'll say, no, we'll pray about it, and they're like, oh, we need to work this out, you know. And so they are the ones that sometimes happen to push things very hard. But planning is important, obviously. Like I'm a marketer, so I study how the market works as well. So some of the things I don't just let them go the way they are. I need to know how my people react to certain things. I listen to my audience. When something is not the way it's supposed to be, like I do all those things at the same time. Yeah.
I see. Now, what is the management structure for Mettle like? Are you under a record label? Or?
Yes, I am. I've worked with Reverb Studios since I started working as an individual artist, but that was a system that was set up by myself and my team since the inception, you know, and so that's the same label I've worked with till now.
Reverb Studios.
So
it is a label owned by Mettle?
By myself and my team.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but like indirectly, yeah.
Okay, but you are the boss of Reverb Studio.
Yeah.
I see. And are you ready to maybe move on to a different label if someone wants to bring you on board for a business?
It depends.
Maybe Love World Music, they want to sign you on.
No, yeah, it depends. You see, sometimes the challenge with the migration of labels is the understanding of the individual's direction. There are times it's difficult because you realize that the label has their own business direction, which sometimes happens to conflict with, you know, I happen to be both in the industry and I'm doing ministry at the same time. So sometimes if you don't take the understanding of the line between the two is difficult, you know. The person may be explaining to you that this is business, this is how it is done, but there are a lot of things we've worked with, both business and relationship, that sometimes if you don't step on it properly, you might end up messing up things. You know, the same way like you would ask, do you think you've done, what have you done right? Some of these things are very, very important to me. Like there are so many places I can just enter because of the relationship that have been built over the years. And sometimes people will think, I've tried to go there for so long, how come you go there? You know, so it works in different ways. And so that's what makes it difficult to sometimes, for me, say that, you know, for distributions and other things, but management makes it slightly difficult. There are a few sensitive steps for us that sometimes it's difficult for other people to understand. Not impossible, but difficult.
I see. So have you signed any distribution deal?
Yes, I worked with CBEX Music on physical distribution, but online distributions, we're able to we have a team that runs from iTunes to YouTube to everything by ourselves.
All right, so we're talking gospel music business here with Mettle. Let's move on. Now, Joe, let's talk about religion, gospel music, and language.
Okay.
When you go outside and you are singing Bononi, do they understand it?
They do. They do. Most of the time you have to explain. And that's the beauty of it. It's just a few words that happens to be the local language. But the beauty of it is those few words is what gives you the identity of where you're coming from. So it's like I'm singing English, which you understand, but I'll give you a taste of my background. So you don't miss the fact that I'm coming from Ghana. I come from Ghana. So the fact that I'm doing English doesn't mean I come from a different country. You know, so they do understand. So just a few words to keep the identity going, but then the understanding will still be there And so we sing in English most of the time when they're abroad.
So does it mean because of that mindset, you are going to restrict yourself from writing, say, a pure Ghana song or a pure tree song?
No. I'm still doing it. So what this one rather did for me was, it gave me that, there are times you're writing and there's a part that you've put the English understanding there. But I'm a big fan of melody. So I'm very concentrated when it comes to melodies and how nice. But sometimes the word in English doesn't fit. But you realize that the moment you trigger it in any local language, it just sits naturally. So that's where I realized that, there's no restriction to writing just English, full English song or full tree song. I decided that, let's just mix it up. And I realized it worked for me. But it doesn't mean it will be every time. One thing I always say, consistency is very good. But then consistency without innovation over time just becomes a repetition of ideas. So you realize that's how come this sounds like this one and this one. Because now it's like you did 1, 2 and it worked for you. Now every time you are doing the same thing. It shouldn't be predictable.
Is there entertainment in Christianity?
Is there entertainment in Christianity? There is in a way. There is in a way. We can't always be sober and it's like every time. We need to have joy. First of all, the joy of the Lord is our strength in the first place. But at the same time, part of the things we do also brings joy by celebration, by excitement, by having fun. Yeah, so there is actually.
So if on a Joe Mettle stage or in a Joe Mettle video, someone is seen dancing shaku shaku, do you see it wrong?
It's a dance. It's just a dance. You see, people have meanings. If maybe you place a deeper meaning to the dance and interpretation of the dance, then there will be a problem. Like in our settings, once these interpretations and stuff start coming, you are going against faith and you're going against beliefs and those kind of things. But it's a dance. The rhythm, there's rhythm and there's dance. You just take it like the way it is, rhythm and dance. Don't read deeper meanings.
So in a Joe Mettle video, you wouldn't restrict, don't do this kind of dance, don't do this kind of move.
There are dances that are offensive, which like obviously I would restrict that if I see that.
Like boy.
There are dances that are offensive and like I'm sure if you do understand these things, that they communicate certain things. They communicate certain what's the word? What am I doing? They communicate certain things that are not pleasant or that are not right for our cause, if I should put it that way. And so sometimes it's restricted. That's different. But then
where do we bring in the balance? Because now even in the church, when it is time for praises, everybody is doing some kind of dance. The one we see happening in the clubs, we are doing it at the same time in the church. All the new and the trendy moves. So that's why I thought that there is entertainment in Christianity.
There is. I mean, I will never deny the fact that like people have what is entertainment? That's the first thing. What you do things to excite people.
That brings joy into your system.
So there is. Because if not, then Christianity will be a very boring thing. So anything that brings joy.
But then the source of entertainment, should we factor
That's where, exactly. So the source of entertainment is very important. Because we can't do what everybody else does to entertain us. We can decide that, okay, then maybe you like certain lyrical content with respect to entertainment. And so I'll say, because that's what the person likes, whether it's restricted or it's not restricted, I'm taking it into the church. No, that's wrong. We have our rules. We have our statutes. We work by the word of God, knowing that every word that comes out of our mouth, we're accountable for. Every action we will be judged by it. And so all these things are considered when we're doing things. Because if the Bible even says that life and death lies in the power of the tongue, the tongue means that it's a very powerful thing. But the point is, the danger is, it says every word that ever comes out of your mouth, you'll be judged by it. Everyone. If you insult somebody, you open your mouth, you would account for it one day. And so we're careful what to use, like you're saying, to excite people, to bring joy to people, and on and on and on.
The voice is Joe Mettle, the Bononi hitmaker, the Onwani hitmaker. And this morning we are talking about gospel music, his business, his career, and more. Now, Joe, let's talk about your position as a minister and again as a musician.
Okay.
When I am coming for your concert, what should be my motive? Am I coming to entertain myself, or I'm coming to fall under the anointing or the unction of God?
My events are are normally power packed. People normally will ask, what should we expect from you? I prepare myself, do my songs, do everything else, but I would normally tell you that the rest is up to God. God is the one that you're coming to meet, not me. So our events have always been full of praise atmosphere. It's full of the grace and the power of God, where people get healed, people get delivered, people get saved, that kind of thing. That's what happens normally at our events. So you get people who come there and are not really saved. They've not given their lives to Christ. They end up giving their lives to Christ. People leave with stuff, burdens on their heart. They leave, relieved. People come with sicknesses. They leave healed. That kind of thing. And so that's what our events are.
So I shouldn't come to a Joe Mettle concert thinking I'm going to have fun.
You will have fun. It's the joy part is also there. That's what we said. So you wouldn't come and say it's I said no. Or we have a full package. So maybe yours is probably coming to have fun and be joyful, and you will still have it. That's where our praise galore and those sessions are part of. That's not the only reason why we do them, but they are part of it. They are all part of that packet, that joyful packet.
Since you have worked with an artist like Nathaniel Bassey before, I've heard this, and I don't know if it is the truth. I hear he doesn't put a price tag on his performances. As in, if you want Nathaniel Bassey for a show, he wouldn't say pay 20,000 naira before you come for me. Do you know that for a fact?
Yes, he doesn't.
How do you do yours?
I do put a price
tag on it. Yes. Okay. What is the difference between Nathaniel Bassey not putting a price tag on his performance and you putting a price tag on your performance?
There's no difference. I would have told you the details, but it's not in my place to. It would be wrong.
The details of Nathaniel.
Why he has a reason why he doesn't. Personally.
Okay.
Yeah. So that.
Do you agree with his reason?
I do. But it's something between him and God. But it's I'm not in the position to explain stuff like that. I think maybe one time when we're able to get him on an interview, it would be ideal. But you said what influences mine?
Yes.
Everything from production to the team to transportation to everything. So we consider all that. Where maybe from where you're moving from, the people you're carrying. Most of the musicians are full-time musicians. So when they go, they need to be given transportation. That's what they do, and so we consider all those things, and then that influences what is quoted by management. So normally I don't even happen to handle those kind of things. Yeah.
And are the churches able to afford you?
Yes. I mean, anyway, you so the church is different from an event organizer. That's the difference. Obviously, we can't treat the church the same way we treat an event organizer.
How many events do you do in a year in Ghana?
I won't be able to count.
Wow.
It will be quite a lot.
Now I'm talking about your self-organized event.
Myself. I think last year we did. It used to be 3, but currently I think we've been doing like almost 4 or 5 in a year.
Namely,
so we have what we call reach outs. Reach out is an evangelism thing we do. We normally do it on the 6th of March. So we pitch our setup in a very crowded area, like maybe one of the mall, and then we reach out to them. And then we do Praise Reloaded, which is my annual concert.
Praise Reloaded.
That's in June. And then we have our high school outreach, which we go to the secondary schools to share the word of God, worship with them, and then we have my last event, which is Love Gift. So Love Gift, what we do is we pick one rural area. We go there from Friday to Sunday. Friday, we have volunteers. Last year, I think we went with about 40 or 50 volunteers. They go into the community, spread the word of God with them. On the Saturday, we do a free medical screening. We give them drugs and stuff. We give them used clothing and all that. And then on the Sunday, I bring a few of my friends. Then we have a concert in the community for them before we leave. Yeah.
I see. So now about 5 concerts in a year.
But now I think this year we've done Reach Out, we've done Praise the Lord. We'll do that. And then this year we're having a Christmas concert, like a proper Christmas concert. So we'll do that, Reach Out.
So the Christmas concert obviously in December.
In December, yes, in December.
I see. I am yet to attend one of such concerts.
Yeah. So but you are the last, was it last year or 2 years ago, or you couldn't make it?
No, I couldn't.
The one
make
at the
it.
conference center.
No, I couldn't make it.
The next time I'll bring you a personalization.
You have to. Very, very important because I need to be there.
You have to.
And again, when you were announced as the Artist of the Year in the VGMAs, did it influence your music style? Did it influence your profession as a gospel artist in any way?
No, it didn't.
You were still doing your normal things.
Because I remember when the thing, when it was over, I had like attacks, blasts, not living up to the standard, not doing what an Artist of the Year would do. I'm not doing anything. But I remember one of the things I said was the fact that I had my plan for the year before I became the Artist of the Year. And when the year started, I never, it wasn't part of my plan that I'm going to win, so let me do this or do that. So if I allowed that to influence what I had planned, I would mess up everything. And so I stuck to the plan. And I remember they said, and that was when after they were patient enough, we released Bononi, and then the rest of the album.
That doesn't mean you did not put value on the position you were given.
No. But what I mean is, I didn't allow that to change everything I'm doing all over again. It put value on it. So no, when I said that, I'll be. It did put value on what I was doing, but I didn't have to allow that influence the plan that was originally there. The thing I had to do was probably maybe do it better than I've always done. Put more value, more quality on the work, and that was what I did.
Most of your colleagues doing gospel music think it is not paying them. In your case, how is it like?
What do you want to say exactly?
No, what I want to say is that it is not paying them. When they go for the shows, the pastors are saying, thank you for coming, God bless you for coming, and that is it.
Oh, I don't think all of them.
Most of them.
But most too are getting it.
So in the case of Joe Mettle.
No, we do get it. I mean, not only me, I know a lot of my people who get well treated for doing events and doing shows. So I don't think it's the same for everyone.
So if Arnold says Joe Mettle is now rich because of gospel music, he's not wrong.
He says I'm rich.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said now you are very rich because unlike the others.
Thank God. No, I have, in addition to the music itself, I have businesses I run on the side as well. It's parts of the things I do. By God's grace, I have a live recording studio which does most of my projects. So for the past, I think literally almost all the albums we've recorded, we've done it by my studio. Mixes, I work with Francis Osei and Daniel Aita on mixes and stuff, but then recording, most of them, it's done by myself in my studio. In addition to the studio, we have a rehearsal studio, and then also I have like a live equipment setup that goes for gigs and stuff. So in addition to the music, I try as much as possible to do a few, and then I have a few other side stuff that I do to get the music also running. And so, but in all that, I'll say that music is a central part of what I do.
Career. I see.
I wouldn't say I'm rich. I'm not poor, but I'm not rich. Yeah.
I see most of your videos being live stage settings.
Okay.
Why do you prefer that?
So I love to capture the atmosphere in addition to what we're doing. Like, so I don't always get to just do the studio. If you've listened carefully, you'd realize that there's a different feel when you capture the whole audience, output and everything on the tape. Anytime you listen to the project, it feels like you were there. You can relive whatever happened on that night. And so that's why I love to capture the live ones. And I'm more of a live person than I am a studio person. So I love to work with the audience. I love to, be on stage with the team, playing direct. So literally most of the things that you see, we play them right at the venue. I never get to do my vocals again. The way it was done on the night is the same way you get it after the event is done. So
insightful conversation here with Joe Mettle. Now you have a new one out. What is it called?
My Everything. I nearly said
Everything.
So it's part of the thing. I was like, the title originally is actually Madinina, but because my audience are not just Ghanaians.
Limited to Ghana.
So I just had to say My Everything, so it's easy for them to understand what I'm saying in the chorus.